Is that Better Bloom Threads? Oh dear. There goes Loki. Nietzsche, good morning. Dave, good morning. How are you? Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome. Brittany, hello. Good morning from Montreal. I love it. Is it Better Bloom Threads? Let me know. Sam from Okanagan. How's oh my gosh, why can't I remember the name of your Loch Ness monster? Oh, oh my gosh. I like my grandparents lived in Winfield. I should remember this. My brain is not functioning this morning. Good morning, Brittany. It is. Okay, it's Better Bloom Threads. Awesome. Okay, I guessed right. Good morning, Nietzsche. How are you? Terry, welcome in. Micho 16 says, good morning from Windsor, Ontario. Good morning. Um, it's good to see you. I'm in just outside Hastings, Ontario, Canada, on the Trent River. So about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what part. Oh, go Pogo! Thank you. About 2 hours away from Toronto. 5 Acre Primitives, how are you doing? Welcome in. Welcome. How is everyone today? Why did I just see something here? My show. Hang on a second. No, that was really weird. That was a weird thing. Good morning. You're right across from Detroit. I love that. Good morning. Better Blooms Thread says, first week on here. Thanks for the encouragement on. Oh, sorry. Shanimation rating with a party. Welcome in, Shanimation. Everyone, please follow Shanimation. I'm going to mod you so you can make an announcement about when your next show is. Welcome in, Chrissy and Heloise. How are you? Treasure Babe Live. Good morning. Bio Brit, welcome in. So we're doing this is an open chat today. I'm not doing a topic unless you have a topic you want me to talk about. I'm not going to do a topic. This is just a and Angeli's touched by autism. How are you doing? How is life? Good to see you. Thank you, Dave, for tagging Shanimation. Everyone, please follow Shanimation, who's awesome, and I really appreciate the raid. You could have picked from thousands of people around the world, and you picked me, so I'm very honored. A few things that I just want to quickly touch on is that first and foremost, Whatnot is doing a promotion on June 12th for the 24 hours of wherever you live in the world, the 24 hours that is June 12th for you. So 1 minute past midnight to midnight is they're reducing commission to only 2% instead of 8%. It's a huge savings. So if you're able to do a show on June 12th, do a show on June 12th. Book it now so you can get lots of bookmarks. It's really important to book your shows ahead as much as you possibly can. Even if you're unsure if you're going to be able to go live, book like 10 shows and call them all pop-ups. When you set up a show, let me just show you really quickly. Minimize show. So when you go to your Seller Hub and you hit create show, schedule show, right? When you go along on schedule show, you're going to see, where is it? There it is. Right at the beginning, it asks you for the title and then the date and the time. And then who are your, those are my standard people. And then it'll say does not repeat. I want you to click on that and I want you to pick daily, weekly, or monthly. So just say you want to do weekly. You can then say every week, say you want to do every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks. You can do the same thing with days. And then you can say, I want this to like repeat until a certain period of time. Or you can just say up to, hang on, I'm trying to do this by not looking, but that's not functioning. Up to 10 shows. So you can create shows at one time. You don't have to do them each individually. You can do them all at one time with the same thumbnail, the same title, the same category, all the same setup. If you are already going to plan to do more than one show, schedule 10 shows at a time, because then you can get 10 bookmarks for all 10 shows when you come into one of these chat shows and they say share your shows or bookmark my shows, people are going to go to your profile and check you out. When you're live and you're selling, you can say, don't forget to go into my profile up above and schedule and look at my scheduled shows and make sure you bookmark them so you get notified. Bookmarks are gold. They go out as high priority messages, the notifications, high priority notifications, through the app. So it's more likely that you're going to get seen by the people that want to see you because they bookmarked you. So bookmarks are really, really important. Welcome in Big T Buck and Sabira. Did I say that right? I hope I said that right. Craig, Angie Pants, and Latex. Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone doing? Thrift Star's also in the house. Welcome, Thrift Star. How's it going? D-Mart, how are you? Mary, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Okay, so that's how you schedule multiple shows at once. And that way, if you're new and you're just starting and you're not sure when you want to do a show, schedule pop-ups. Call them pop-ups and say, bookmark me for pop-ups. And people who want to see you again will bookmark those pop-up shows because they want to get notified when you go live. And it is the easiest way to go live. Can you do, Angie Pants, can you do the setting up your show, multiple shows? You can do that on Android, iPhone devices, iOS devices, as well as on your computer. But yes, so can you do the whole show just on your phone? Yes, I'm doing this entire show on my phone. My second device is just so that I don't bounce the screen. This is my old Android. As you can see, it's got a cracked screen, so it's not perfect, but it works as a second device. And that's what I love. I use iOS. I use an iPhone because then I can also, all of my shows are also on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch at the same time. So I'm currently also on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So hello, if you're watching from there, how are you doing? If you want to come in, if you're watching this live, come into the chat by going to the QR code, which I think is over here. I think it's right over here. So come and join with the QR code and you can join the conversation here. Eleni's, did I say that right? Eleni's daughter says, I have my first show on June 14th. Cannot figure out shipping. How do I calculate weight? Whatnot says add packing weight, but how does this work for bundling? Yes, Angie, you do need a scale. So Loki, can you shush? Come on, bring me a toy. It's just because Daddy is busy doing things. So stop. You don't need to. Okay. So we're just gonna have to work through it because Daddy's gonna be a while there, and I have no way of dealing with it because Daddy can't wait. Daddy does his best work in the morning. Loki, he's just look what I got. I got a ball. Oh, I have a ball for you. Do you want my ball? Not helping. Not talking to him is not helping. Loki, come here. Do you want this? Sit. Do you want to see what happened? Him and come here. Up. He got into a disagreement with Romeo. It happens every once in a while with brothers, and so he's got a boo-boo on his nose because Romeo scratched his nose. I'm sure Romeo didn't mean to, but he's a good. Go get it. Good boy. Okay. All right. Let's see how long that lasts. So weight, figuring out weight. That's a really great question. And if you want to know more about shipping on Whatnot, I do have shows that are on that I did specifically about shipping. Last Saturday I did one. I haven't added it to the playlist yet, but it is all about shipping with Whatnot Canada and all the things that you need to know. But let's talk about weight. So you're asking about how do I figure out weight? So let's grab something. Okay. So important is you need to have a scale. As Angie Pants asked, you do need to have a scale. I have multiple scales. Here's the one thing that I will say. This is not, this is a toy. Yes, you can have that toy. This scale that I got from Amazon Basics works really well for me. Sorry, my water was on there and sweated on it. It goes up to 65 pounds or 30 kilograms. If you are selling vintage decor and other stuff like that, you want to have this type of scale. I also have this one. Ignore the fact that I accidentally burnt it at one point. Um, Ignore that. This scale you can get from, this is a Dymo scale. This is meant to be a male scale. I got this from Staples. I was in a rush and I needed one because I was doing a live show and I had forgotten my scale. And it only goes up to 10 pounds. So it is only useful for weighing things live, not weighing things when I have to ship out, which is another reason you need a larger scale. So make sure that your scale has a capacity around 65 or 70 pounds. So this scale cost me way too much. This was almost $50. I don't know how much this one was, not so much. I also have a cute little pink one that's in the other room that I got also from the big Amazon place, and I think it was like $30. But you can often find on Facebook Marketplace, people will be advertising them. So it is an important investment to have because you need to be able to weigh the items and then weigh your package when it's time to ship out. So I'm going to use this scale. I'm going to use my scale beside me, and we're going to do I have any materials? I don't have any materials around me. Okay, so what I would do is I've got this, right? I've got this kitty cat. Now this is going to be, what do you think it weighs? Any guesses about how much it weighs in ounces or grams? You can decide. I'm going to put it on the scale. 1 pound. So it is actually 1 pound's a good guess for the raw weight. So I want you to think of it this way. This is raw weight. So we're going to talk about just raw weight. The raw weight of this is 8.2 ounces. But the box I'm going to have to put this in so that the box doesn't get crushed, plus the bubble wrap, plus the other, I wrap it in paper first, then I'd wrap it in bubble wrap, and then I'd put it in the box. If this was the only thing that this person bought, it would go in a box and it's going to weigh, I would put this in 1 to 2 pounds. That's its shipped weight. So this is this 8.2 ounces is its raw weight. A box alone is gonna weigh, sometimes the box itself will weigh almost a pound. Thank you, Dave. I do package. I do make sure that it comes in one piece. Every once in a while something breaks. The bottom of a hen nest broke on its way into the United States. Very sad. I'm still sad about it. Yeah, paper is heavy. Bubble wrap isn't heavy, but it still adds a couple of ounces. If you put stickers or a thank you card in there, that adds weight. So I'm like more careful about not adding much weight on. So it's important. You weigh this and it's 8.2 ounces. But once you wrap this up and put the box with it, weight is the most important thing I need you to think about. Whatnot has adjusted Whatnot Canada's adjustments, if that makes sense. So yeah, your box size still shows as 13 centimeters by 13 centimeters by 13 centimeters if you're a Canadian seller, but they're more focused on weight now. So as long as you can keep your weight down, um, and be at or below the weight that you told the Whatnot app, this is the important thing. So this would be in 1 to 2 pounds. I would not put this in anything lower than 1 to 2 pounds because it's already 8 ounces and a pound is 16 ounces. So I know definitely it's going to be at least 16 to 32 ounces to ship this out. So always think, if you're unsure, then have a scale beside you and have a little box that you can put things in, and then add some paper and all that. So what about the second bundle item? Doesn't the buyer still pay for the box weight? So yes. So say my buyer bought this, and then the second item that they bought was Loki, shut up, was this cute little, they bought this second, right? So what the Whatnot system does is it starts with the first item and it says, okay, this is the weight category that the person has just bought something in 1 to 2 pounds. That's this amount because they live this far away from me. So they calculate also distance away, because that's important, right? It's more expensive to ship to Vancouver than it is for me to ship to Toronto. So my second item, the person buys something small as their second item, and this is 2.2. So I'm going to have this in 4 to 7 ounces because it's going to be above 4 ounces to ship. So that adds, they're going to add another 7 ounces onto the weight of that person's box. So the first item creates the box, and that's the biggest expense. Then every item that the person buys, because if you've put the correct weight category, so if I have this in 4 to 7 ounces, then my buyer will get charged for 7 ounces being added to the weight of the box. And then if the next thing that they buy is this, which raw weight is over 1.5 pounds. So this is going to go into 2 to 3 pounds. So this is going to, then Whatnot will charge the buyer for this third item as 3 pounds. So they're going to add 3 pounds. So that might be $1.50 or $1.70 or $1.40. That's usually what I see when I add on 2 to 3 pounds. So the system automatically adds more weight as the person to the box and says, okay, now the box started off as $15, but they just added this into the box. So now it's $15. Now it's going to be 25 cents. And then the next item that the person buys is this. So it's, as long as you choose the correct shipping profile. So shipping profile is the more important thing. And Elaine's daughter asked, what if box dimensions get bigger with bundling? So what you see on the app is your default box size. If you have large items, that like super large items, then you are going to, if you have super large items like this or even bigger, if you have really big items, then I would do a custom shipping profile for just that one item. But if you have items like this, the box size is going to grow. You may have some shipping adjustments that you get 5 free shipping adjustments per week. But so far now thank you, Tom, and your team, by the way, now that they've adjusted the adjustments so that they're more logical, you're not going to get shipping adjustments unless the box is really big. So, or you go over your weight. So your weight is the most important thing that I want you to focus on. If you have a very large item, like I would say, if it's over 18 inches tall or in any direction, I would do a custom shipping profile for that and ship it on its own. A friend was charged $93 for a bigger box as the seller. So was that, how long ago was that, Elaine? Was that recent or was that last week? Oof. Okay. How big was the box? Was the box super big? And did they have their weights correct? For a hat. That's really weird. Where was it going? That sounds like a glitch because it's got to be a really big hat in order for it to be a problem. So I would suggest that they contact Whatnot support about that because that sounds extremely excessive. Unless it was going somewhere, it sounds like it was a glitch. Yeah, because I've literally shipped like big moving boxes, like huge moving boxes. Yeah, definitely contact support about that. Good morning, everybody that's come in. Michael and Richard and Polka Pops and Peachsicle. I like that. Pizza Man, what's up? It's good to see you. Aaron, hello. Mia Vita, it's good to see you too. And who else have I missed? Jessica, hello, welcome in. Fabric and Finds, I love that name. Welcome in. Loki, shut up. Lou, welcome in. Beauty Fingers, Mercy, Sadia Moon, Mini Boutique, welcome in. Jeremy, welcome in. And everyone else that I've missed, like mac and cheese. Ooh, that sounds yummy. I think that's what I want for lunch now. So I hope that answers your questions. It is, do you suggest listing all items in the shop? Really great question. Um, and there was another question. Hang on. Let me get back to the other question. Sadia Mini Boutique. I want to say Moon. Why do I want to say Moon? I don't know why I want to say Moon today. How do you see what that amount added is? I never see it on my end. So when you go to seller.whatnot.com, let me see if I can show you without showing anybody's personal information. Please hold. Let me see if I can show you. Seller.whatnot.com. Seller Hub. Okay. So when you get to your Seller Hub, you're going to go to the menu at the top. If I can click on that, it's very tiny. And you're going to hit shipments. Shipments. Boop. Okay. And then let's see who I've got here. I have someone who ordered 20 things, and I have someone who has 20 things. So I'm just going to show you that. So I have to start at the top. Where do I start? Here. Okay. So this person ordered 20 things so far. She might be ordering more. So because I'm doing weekly bundling. So the first, if you go to the person's name, and let me see if I can just show you without showing. Okay. If you go to the person's name, there's going to be this little word underneath their username that says expand. Okay. I want you to click on that. And then that's going to show you all the stuff they've bought. Now I've zoomed in. And if you go over, if you scroll over from there, so as you can see, if you scroll over, you're going to see the price they paid, the weight it is, and then you're going to see how much they paid. So as you can see, each item, the first item, she paid $10.17. Is that 17? No, 10. Second item was, wait, let me see the weight. Second item, so that first item was 3 ounces. The second item that she bought was 3 ounces. It was no more money to put in. The next item was 3 ounces. That was also $0 to put into the box. Next item was 3 ounces. We've got a lot of 3 ounces here. 0. Up 24 cents for the next 3 ounces because it went up in weight category and was going to be more. And as you can see, there you go. We got 0 because of 3 ounces. We've got 88 cents because the box got heavier and went into a different weight category. These were all 3 ounces. We've got, what was that? 3 pounds. She added 3 pounds. That was $2.02 more. And then she added 11 ounces, and that was 42 cents. Yes. And then she added another 11 ounces, and that was 0. And then she added another 11 ounces, and that was 54 cents. And then it was 0 and $1.10. So does that make sense now? I hope that makes sense. That's where you can find it, and that's what it looks like. Okay, and then Angie Pants asks, so printing the labels, do they show easily in the app to print? So in the app, when you go to, if you want to print a label from the app, it is going to just print. You don't want to generate a label directly from the app because if I can just, let me see if I can show you. If I click on one of them, if I hit generate label, oh, I can't cover it up. Oh, maybe I can. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Make sure that's not. Hang on. Just going to make sure it's not visible at all. Okay. So on this person's, if I hit generate app from here, it's going to print a label that's for a 13 by 13 by 13 centimeter box and is definitely just 22. Sorry, this says 22 ounces under here. Okay. If I do that, then it's just automatically, that's what it's going to print. But if your box isn't 13 by 13 by 13 centimeters and 22 ounces, you're lying. You're lying to the post office. It's actually fraud to lie to the post office if it's actually bigger than that. It's a mail fraud. So don't do that, okay? What I want you to do instead is there is, it says right at the bottom, let me cover it up again. It says right at the bottom, visit seller.whatnot.com to adjust this. Now, dear Whatnot, I should write this down. I'm going to screenshot this so I remember this. Dear Whatnot, you need to make that a link that they can click. So I'm going to get out of here so I don't accidentally show somebody's information. So you want to go to seller.whatnot.com. You can do it on your phone like I just did. So I can go in and let me just try and show you somebody. So I go into somebody's order, and right here, see this little button right here that's like a little pencil, and I'm on my phone. This is from the phone. I go and I click that pencil, and then it's going to bring up a drop down menu. I want to make sure it doesn't show anything. Yep, it's good. And then I'm going to edit the dimensions. I'm going to edit the weight. It's going to tell me if there's any costs involved in that. So it's really important. The smaller the box, the closer to God. Think about it that way. Size matters. Be smaller. So if you find that you used a box that was bigger than what was necessary and you just added some more stuffing to it, and you really didn't need to add all that extra stuffing if you had a smaller box, make your box smaller. And if you watch my videos about shipping on YouTube, I'm at the Red Rooster CA. You will find out how to resize boxes to make them smaller. That's important. But then that is where you generate a label. And then from there, if you have your phone connected to your Bluetooth via Bluetooth or through the internet, like I do with my HP printer, you can print your label from the app. You hit save changes and then you hit generate label, and it will create the label for you that way. That's correct. If you generate it through the app, you're just going to get what the standard default is, which is probably not what your box is. Eleni's, I'm going to catch up. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of questions. I'm going to try and catch up. Eleni's daughter asked, do you suggest listing all items in the shop? Totally up to you. Did you know that 90% of all sales on Whatnot are random pulls? They are generic listings. But if you have specific special items that you want your buyers to find because you know they're searching for them, for example, if you have a fairy lamp or you have a hen on nest, yes, list those items. If you have a specific brand of clothing that you're going to be selling, say you're going to do a whole bunch of Lululemon, then do a listing that is Lululemon on choice, and then do 100 Lululemons. Be more specific about your listings, so when people are searching for things that that people want, then listing is much better, because people who are searching for that are going to find it. They can't find that you've got Nike shoes if you just put shoes on choice or random pulls shoes, right? They're not going to know that you have Nike unless you say you have Nike. You can add Nike, Adidas, you can add like a whole bunch to the title. You can add all the different brands to the title so that it's more searchable. Okay, Liz, hello, how are you? Welcome in, everybody. Sadia I sort of meant while you're adjusting the weight while in a show, once the item is pinned, the customer can see it, but I cannot see what the weight is. Oh, yes. Okay. So yes, your buyers can't see what weight you selected unless you've put like random pull 1 to 2 pounds. Then they know that it's 1 to 2 pounds. Your customer can't see the weight. They can just see how much it's going to cost them. So they don't see what weight you put. They just see how much it's going to cost them. Eleni's daughter says, so you print labels one at a time? I do, because each box is a different size. So I do it one at a time. Yes, you can save all the changes and then you can generate all the labels at once, but you need to save the changes first. BioBrit asks, is this specific to Chit Chat shipping? Manitoba doesn't have Chit Chat, so it's Canada Post. Aussie14 says, I was told the opposite. Do tell me what opposite you were told and by whom. I'm curious. Is this specific to Chit Chat shipping? Manitoba doesn't have Chit Chats. Okay. So, no, it's not specific to Chit Chat shipping. It's what I'm saying about um, weights and costs and all that is specific to Canadian shipping. US shipping is slightly different. But yes, Canada Post, I use Canada Post. I've used Chit Chats in the past, but it's 35 minutes away from me. I'm not going to drive to 35 minutes each way every time to drop something off. Mia Vita says, can we create categories in our shop? No, not yet, but it is something that we've requested. And I highly recommend that if you have a request like that, that you go to contact us on your profile, click on the profile part, scroll down to contact us, and you can add a suggestion. You can give feedback and say, I would really love it if we could categorize our shop so that people could see, kind of like Etsy does, right? Where you can say, here's all my fabric, here's all my craft supplies, here's all my beads, or here's all my vintage decor, here's all my ephemera, here's all my books. That is something that is on the list of things they'd like to do, but the more we ask for it, the more likely it is to happen. Ozzy says buyers like to read about the item. Yes, buyers do like to find the information about the item, but 90% of sales on Whatnot are random pulls. And so that's not disappearing anytime soon. That's 90% of Whatnot's revenue. They're not going to suddenly say, don't do that. What they're telling us is, and you can read this at blog.teamwhatnot.com and learn about some of the new features that are coming this way for us to help us to be able to still do random pulls, but be searchable. They're adding more features, but in the meantime, you can, if you're going to do random pulls instead of individual listings, add more information to your random pulls, especially in clothing, fashion, that sort of thing. It's a game changer. Comms Collection says, I used Chit Chat for my first show, Never Again. Here in Edmonton, the drop off was an open bin in some office tower to sketch. I mean, I I haven't. I've had some problems with Chit Chats losing mail. I'm not too thrilled with that. Um, I think that overall Chit Chats is fairly good. But yeah, it's just a bin. You drop it in, and they have someone sitting there watching, right? Um, you were Ozzy. You were told at the summit in Austin. Well, what Tom said was what, because I was there too. So I was there in the room. He's the one that when he talked about that someone came all the way from Toronto to talk about a box size, that was me. So if you were at Tom's talk at the end, what he said was, and then the others, listings are great. Buyers want that information. The more information you can put in, the better. Quality listings are a better option for you. But if you are going to do random pulls, which 90% of stuff is, then put more information, is what Tom has been saying for sure. Um, do, 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 do. I see listings more often for pricier items. Yes. So and that's like in your buy it now. If you've got something that that say you're doing fashion and your show is going to be all random pulls, but you have some really awesome pieces that should go for more than just what you're doing for random pulls, put in a listing and list them there. Your buyers, when they get bored while they're watching your show, they're either gonna swipe away from you, if you don't have something in your store that they can look at. So if you can build your buy it now over time, it doesn't have to be that when you start doing your first show that you've got it like 500 items. Don't do that many, by the way. It's too overwhelming for most people. But you can start doing listings, individual listings. Say you just do 5 a day. You set aside a time every day. Maybe it's first thing in the morning, after breakfast, or after your coffee. You do 5 listings, or even just 15 minutes of listings, right? And then um say say like, or you can do it in the evening, or if you find that what, I can do 10 listings a day, then do 10 listings a day. Whatever works for you. If you can't do it every day, then set aside one day a week. What I do is, whenever I sort of have a break in my downtime, I'll do some listings. If I've got a raid train coming up, I'll do some listings, or I'll just start organizing some stuff. I'm starting to do jewelry listings. And one of the cool things that you can do is you can go using the web browser. You can go to seller.whatnot.com and you can add to your inventory, but leave it in drafts so that it's not immediately on your profile. If you don't want to put pictures in yet, you can make it a draft and then you can add pictures later. And you can do that all at seller.whatnot.com. And I've been doing that to add to my jewelry listings so that one of these days I will have a quality jewelry listings, not just my random pulls jewelry. I will do a random pulls jewelry soon too. But my quality stuff I wanted to put aside and work on and have it in draft and save it for later. And then you can just go in there and move it from draft to active and put it in shows. You can do a lot on the website. The website has a lot more options for you to move your inventory around. You can go in and say you did a show 3 weeks ago and the stuff that didn't sell in that show you're going to be running again. You can clone, it's called clone items. You can clone items from that show into your show coming up. So say you have a show in 5 days, you can clone all the items from a show even months ago that didn't sell, and you can clone them into the next. So you can, that makes it a lot easier for you to add inventory in when you are carrying your inventory over from one show to another. So I do recommend that. Selected by Sophie. Hello, hello. Pylon. Hello. Shauna's Treasures and Art. Hello. How are you? Canadian Brick Cafe. What's up? How are things? How are things at work? Crystal. Good morning. So let me see. Have I got all the questions? Have I got all the questions so far? I think I have. If you do have a question, put a question mark there so it'll turn yellow so I will see it, because as you can see as a seller, I can organize who says what by this. So it makes life easier that I can just focus on the questions when I need to. So a reminder, June 12th is now a date where you can have 2% commission all day long. So if you haven't scheduled a show, schedule a show for June 12th. Thank you, Canadian Brick Cafe. Eleni's daughter asks, I'm Canadian. Can we do international buyer giveaways? No, legally, no, because there are different rules in different countries and it's too complicated legally to have buyers giveaways that are international. So my suggestion is, if you do have a lot of US buyers that and you do a buyer's giveaway, you can send a coupon code. You can create a coupon code. Again, seller.whatnot.com. That's where you want to do that. Create a coupon code. It's under promotions, marketing and promotion. Do a coupon code and send that in their package. Send them like if you had a high-end show, send them a $5 coupon that they can use when they come into your next show, right? So you're still giving them something. You can say, I'm sorry, US buyers, I just want to let you know that that I can't do an international giveaway. However, everybody who buys from me in this show is going to get a coupon in their package, which is basically, I'm giving you something. And actually, buyers giveaways are great, but they're not, I have not seen them drive sales. I've seen them they sound great. They sound exciting. But unless you're giving away something like epic, people are not going to buy something from you just to get that. So it has to be something really special. So I am not team giveaway. I am team coupon. I am team rewards club. I believe that provides more revenue for you in the end, because if a coupon gets used, then you get a sale and you may get a new buyer, or you just may get a sale. If you do a buyer's giveaway, yeah, they've already made a purchase from you, but that doesn't guarantee a purchase in the future. A coupon could mean a purchase in the future. For my buyer's giveaway, no, you can't do that. Comms Collections. That's actually, I'm not going to read that out loud. That is actually against the law. And it's actually against Whatnot terms of service. You could get reported for that. Yes. illegally, and if you read the Whatnot's giveaway guidelines, you must, it's okay, I'll tell you. So everyone, just so you know, if you want to do a giveaway, you have to say what the giveaway is, whether it's a buyer's giveaway or a regular giveaway, a followers giveaway, an open giveaway. You have to say what the giveaway is. You cannot just say epic giveaway. And I've seen that people just put giveaway, giveaway 1, giveaway 2, giveaway 3, and they don't say what it is. It's okay. It's okay. You now know. Knowing is half the battle, GI Joe. Lots of sellers do it and get away with it. I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want you to be the one that gets caught. Um, so yeah. And it's also because it's especially a buyer's giveaway, there's a lot of legality around that. So that is like the big one, that yes, a lot of sellers will do things like, if it's a form filler who fills out and wins the giveaway, which is a legal thing that's allowed, um, then they'll be like, oh, I'm going to just send you, like, people have literally sent an envelope of dirt because they're that petty. This is your business. So imagine if McDonald's had a giveaway and somebody filled out a form instead of buying a Big Mac and fries, and they won the Monopoly giveaway. They're not going to say, oh, well, you know what, no, you're getting some old fries that are all crusty and moldy instead. No, they wouldn't do that. They'd just be like, okay, here you go. So you got to treat this like a business. This is a business that you're running, whether you're a hobbyist or not. This is a business, so you have to be really, really careful to follow the law. And in fact, I do have another on my YouTube channel. I hate saying this. On my YouTube channel, you will find a playlist that is Whatnot sellers, Whatnot seller tips. And in that, I have a show where I explained in detail, because there's a lot of detail, in detail, how to do buyers and regular giveaways, how to do giveaways, what the rules are, how to follow them. And you may not know this, but you're supposed to have terms and conditions available for people to read. Um, that has to be added in too. That's a legal requirement. So I don't do a lot of giveaways, so I don't often have to do that where I have to go in and grab it. But I explain how to do all that. If you want to do giveaways, great. But really important that to note that you need to. Thank you, Ren. You need to make sure that you go and follow your giveaways and figure out if they're actually making you money or they're just costing you. So track it. Are people buying from your giveaways? If you do an open giveaway, like a followers giveaway, you may get a few more followers, but do they come back? Do you know if they come back? How do you even know if they come back, right? That's way too complicated for me to figure out. I don't want to have to track all that. But you can just look at who won the giveaway. Did they make a purchase? If they didn't make a purchase, you just gave away something for free for nothing. Yeah, yeah, and as Liz says, you do the best with what you knew, and now you know more. Exactly. I love you. Everyone, please follow What Liz Likes, by the way. What Liz Likes, it is the person that when I started on Whatnot, she was the seller chat that I went to religiously, because that was where I got my key information about how to do things right. So, and she is still doing seller chats, and they are amazing. So you need to go and bookmark and follow What Liz Likes, and watch her shows. Also, she's got the most amazing soap. I love her soap. There were like a few people that when I first started on Whatnot, and some of them aren't around anymore. But What Liz Likes was like, that was the one I always went to. And now I'm always like, Liz, whenever I talk about how to get free shipping supplies, I always mention that you get them from, on every Sunday at your church. People just have boxes available for you, that all you have to do is just talk to people and tell them about what you do, and and lo and behold, the boxes shall appear, and the shipping materials shall appear for free. All right, let me just check, make sure I've got all my okay, select by Sophie. It's okay when you let them choose during the live though, right? My giveaways are something pretty cool stuff, but they choose. As long as you show, so selected by Sophie, as long as you show, so say it's going to be, yeah, BioBrit says me reusing all the packing material I get in my own orders. Same. I'm guilty of that too. So what you can do is you can say, you have a choice of, um, say I had a pile of these Wade Whimsies and I was showing, here's 5 Wade Whimsies and you get to choose from one of these Wade Whimsies, right? So you would have to show it on the screen and it would have to say winner receives one, their choice of one of the Wade Whimsies, so that they know they're getting a Wade Whimsy or a brooch or whatever it is you're offering. And then you're showing it on the screen that, okay, everybody, I'm going to run this giveaway. Here's what you could win. It's your choice of one of these things. And then when it runs, then you show it again and say, okay, now which one would you like, Bob? Congratulations, Bob, for winning which one of these 5 things. Pretend there's 5 things in my hand right now. Which one of these 5 things? So as long as you put it in the listing, don't just say giveaway, your choice. Let's not be lazy, folks. Let's take pictures of our giveaways. Let's have information and details about the giveaways to follow the rules. It takes only a few seconds extra to just quickly type and say what it is and take a picture. Because then you're not going to get in trouble. No one can, if somebody complains about their giveaway win, and like, because people actually review giveaways, which is another reason why I don't want to do giveaways, because I feel like people just sometimes enter a giveaway without knowing what it is that they're entering the giveaway for. They just hit enter giveaway, and then they win the thing and then they're like, I don't want these stickers are stupid, I never wanted these stickers, and they literally say that on reviews. It hasn't happened to me because I don't give away stickers, so I don't have to worry about it. But you are going to get reviewed on your giveaway. They're going to review you on your giveaway. And yeah, some people will do it, especially in Canada. People will enter giveaways for things they don't want because they want to break their shipping, because then you've paid for their shipping. If you do a buyer's giveaway, you just have to add a little bit more. Yeah, and they give a 1-star review for a bad giveaway. Dave from Alberta says bad reviews on giveaways is the greatest tragedy on Whatnot, are testament to human stupidity. And I think the most important thing is, if you get a bad review, and I've talked about this before, if you get a bad review, don't answer right away. No matter how you feel, do not answer right away. Close the app, walk away, think about it, write it out, read it out loud, see if you've got emotion in there. If you need to, ask a robot program to rewrite it in a more professional way, so that you take the emotion out of it and you just say, I'm so sorry that you felt this way. However, you might want to point something out, right? Yeah, walk the dog first. Exactly, Ozzy. Do something, walk away. It's really important. What Liz like says, I like bad reviews on giveaways. It tells me who to block, but I also don't do giveaways. There you go. Canabra Cafe, you've suffered through 3 of my shows. You have unlocked egg. Congratulations. You have coupons up here that you can't use today because I'm not really selling anything, am I? But you have coupons. Sorry, just catching up here. Make sure I'm trying to make sure I don't lose anything here. Liz says about shipping materials. Sorry, I gotta use this instead. Speak up, because it's amazing what people will give for free, so they don't have to deal with it. Yeah, I've started going. I live in a small, like a little village. Like, the village is just down the road. There are lots of little businesses that every Friday are putting out massive boxes filled with little boxes in them. And I just go in every once in a while to the different stores and ask, do you have any boxes? The hardware store, it's Friday afternoons that they get their deliveries. Or Friday mornings when they get their deliveries. So Friday afternoons, I go in and ask if they have any boxes or packing material that I can have. And then my pharmacy, the convenience store, they all have boxes. Loki, don't do that. You're knocking the table, my love. Um, Angie Pants asks, is it better to use a box or those packing bags? So it depends on what you're selling, right? So if you're doing clothing, then obviously if it can fit in a poly bag, do a poly bag. When I say box, I mean the package's weight. So it could be a poly mailer or it could be a box. If there's anything that could get broken, don't be Timu and put everything into a poly bag no matter what, right? Don't do that. They don't care, right? Because they can just replace it with another piece of crud. If you care about the items you're sending, don't put them in a poly mailer unless you've got them protected, well protected. Even those bubble mailers, make sure that you have them well protected. So when I ship books, sometimes if someone has ordered just one or two books and they're not like antique or very extremely special books, they will go in a poly mailer, but they first get wrapped in paper. They get wrapped in paper first to protect the edges and protect them from getting banged about. And then they go into the poly mailer. So it's all about, that's a good question. Angie Pants asks, where's the best place to get poly bags, best cost? Everyone who has gets poly bags, please tell Angie Pants where the best place is to get poly bags. I get, when I need poly bags, I usually get them, this Angie Pants, this is how we do it. This is the community will help out by, yes. Oh, you can say it. You can say Amazon. Elaine's daughter gets them from Amazon. I've bought some from Amazon in the past. I've gotten some at those liquidation stores and liquidation auctions where they get redirected mail and that sort of thing. I pick them up there. BioBrit says the dollar store. Ren Supply says Temu or Amazon and Facebook Marketplace. Sean has gotten hers from Amazon. Selected by Sophie says Amazon for smaller sellers. If you hit it big, Uline. Yes, Uline is usually the cheapest, but they're shipping and they even charge you for picking up. Their shipping costs are high, so you need to make sure that you balance that out. Eleni's daughter says cheap poly bags will rip, so pay a few cents more. Yes, absolutely. And also, I bought a whole bunch and used them, and they were great. Of the ones that are compostable, they're great, but they don't last very long. They last about 6 months before they start to break down and fall apart, even if you have them out of their, once you open the bag. So, if you're going to do the compostable ones, make sure that you buy in the amount that you're going to use for just the next 6 months, because after that, the bags are going to fall apart. And I like using compostable ones. I feel better about that. Yeah, check the reviews, check the tear reviews, because people will read the reviews before you buy anything, especially on Amazon, because people will tell you if the bags are flimsy and crappy, because people get upset and tell you the bad things that happen with them. BioBrit says, I also like bubble mailers for small toys, which is most of what I sell. Yeah, I assume you like wrap them in something before you put them in the bubble mailer, right? One of the things that a lot of people don't realize, compostable peanuts are the same. They get hard after 6 months. That's interesting, Liz. What about the American USPS bubble mailers? I use those for Canadian buyers, then tape the label on. I don't use them for American buyers. Yeah, if you get bubble mailers, USPS bubble mailers, and you're mailing back in Canada, you can reuse those. I don't see a problem with that. USPS isn't going to have a problem with that. It already got used, right? But don't, if you're an American listening right now, please don't use your free USPS bubble mailers or anything else as packing material instead of what it's meant for, because we in Canada don't have what you have with all this free packaging material. And one day USPS is going to wake up and say, you know what? We should be like other countries and not and charge for these items. And you're going to lose that privilege if you keep going. But the one thing that people don't realize about packing, and it's really important, if you have anything, even toys that have any sort of paint glaze on them, any sort of color that could lift or get damaged, do not put, especially in the summer, do not put bubble wrap or any plastic material like a poly mailer or a bubble mailer directly up against that item, because when it gets hot, it'll actually pull it off. The plastic will adhere and stick, and you will damage the glaze or the paint, or the finish on the item. So always, always, always wrap it in some paper or some tissue paper. Yes. So Selected by Sophie says, so tissue paper first, I'm assuming. Yes, absolutely true for ceramics. It will F up your glaze if you put it direct, if you put bubble wrap directly against it. So BioBrit says, I buy packing paper at the dollar store. I get my paper, packing paper, I get usually from U-Haul, because they have recycled, really nice recycled paper that's nice and clean. I reuse anything that's clean. I go to Dollarama and I buy the $1.25 30 pack of tissue paper, and that's what I use. I cut it to the size I need, so it's not always straight, and I don't think you guys care. And if you do, oh well, sorry, but I don't have, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm not gonna slice it. So if I'm doing jewelry, I will wrap the jewelry in tissue paper first, and then it will get a little bubble wrap loving as well, depending on what it is. But yeah, Selected by Sophie says, seller tip, Dollarama has the best price for tissue paper, I've noticed too. Yeah. So, and you can also buy it like in big packages of tissue paper. But if you're a small seller starting out, just yeah, don't use newspaper right against stuff. So I've seen that too. And I don't have any with me right now because I actually cleaned up after the last show. Can you believe it? Um uh you can use wrapping paper. Like one of the things that I do when I buy at auctions is I will buy wrapping paper, but you want to make sure it's the wrapping paper isn't something that's going to bleed. So if it gets wet, it's going to bleed. You don't want to use that. So you can use that for like an outer layer. I only use it for an inner layer when I know that it's safe and it's going to be okay. But you can use old wrapping paper that that otherwise it's just going to go in the trash. You're saving it from the trash. If you want to use newspaper, use that after you've used tissue paper or after you've used something like a moving paper, wrapping paper. Because as Canadian Brick Cafe and BioBrit says, the newspaper ink comes off. Just think about if you rub your hands on that newspaper, you end up with hands that are a different color than where they started, right? So you don't want that also on the items that you're shipping out, because then you've basically, it's because as it transports, pretend this is a box. It's in a it's going to shake, and the paper is going to rub up against the item. It's just physics. The paper is going to rub up against the item and the ink is going to come on the item, and then that item actually looks dirty. If you've cleaned that item and made it pristine, then you should make sure. Let's see. I've seen reviewers complain about newspaper getting their hands dirty. Yeah. So I know people will complain about a lot of things, but I use newspaper as stuffing. And if your hands get dirty from that, oh well, so sad, too bad. But I'll use newspaper as stuffing because I believe in recycling. I think it's important. Ren Supplies says, are silent shows a thing on Whatnot? I've stumbled upon one a few weeks ago. Yeah. So silent things should not be a thing on Whatnot. Silent shows. You have to, if you're going to do what's called a silent show, not a dead stream, but a silent show, then you need to actually be present. So even if you're not saying anything, you have to make it clear that you're present. If I'm watching, I need to see that your hands are moving and the thing is moving and you're pinning another item. And then if somebody asks a question in the chat, you can answer in the chat. That's not what Whatnot's really intended for. There are some people who seem to like those silent shows. I'm not a fan of them. I like more interaction. I'm not on Whatnot for static listings and boring, right? I'm on Whatnot for the fun and the entertainment and the friendship and the community. So a pre-recorded stream is absolutely against terms of service. Yes, Canadian Brick Cafe, you are correct. So one of the things that has been noticed is that there are some bots that I don't know what they're exactly farming, why they're doing it, but I wonder if there's any on right now. Resin art. Yep. So if you go to the resin art category right now, for some reason there are bots that are creating profiles, getting approved. Dear Whatnot, what the fork? You need to fix this. They're getting approved to sell. And they're doing these shows where there's absolutely nothing happening. Absolutely nothing happening at all. There's nothing in their store. They're just on. They're just on. And I mean, I go on, that's a dead stream. That is so a dead stream. I don't know. I think that it's sort of like there's they got to be farming it for something. There's got to be a reason for it. They are like there's currently in and this is something that's been reported over and over and over again, and Whatnot doesn't seem to be, sorry Whatnot, but you don't seem to be reacting as fast as you should. I know there's some sort of engineering thing that you need to do, but the first thing that you could do is fix, I'm complaining now, but the first thing that you could fix is to make it so that if you want to be a seller on Whatnot, you actually have to prove more than whatever these people have done. Whatever it is that these people have told you is not enough. You need to have some sort of thing that seems like it's actually real life. There needs to be more screening. There's, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that one's scheduled. There are seven of these stupid dead streams in Resin Art right now, where it's like, are you there? And actually, in some of them, they were very clever, and they have bots that will answer, um, you like they're moderators, and they'll say, "This is a great show, selling this," and there's like, this one has nothing in their store, nothing in their store. They're not going to answer me. So that's a dead stream. I report them. That one goes. They do another one, report them. That goes. If you see something, say something. You can quickly go, let's go report this one. When you see something like this, you go up to the top to their little profile image and you hit report. Report, and then scroll down to the bottom and off platform, this one, other platform violations. And then we're going to select dead stream. Please note some of the platform violations is smoking and vaping. To ensure product quality, sellers may not use smoke products, including cigarettes and vaporizers, while on stream around inventory. So we're going to report the dead stream. Dead as a doornail. LOL. There we go. Submit. There we go. I've submitted that. But that guy will get banned, and then someone else will come up, and then another one, and then another one. Magnus Myrika says, I had to show my driver's license to start selling and whatnot and receive pay. Yes, in order to get your payouts, you need to prove you're a real person and connect it to a real bank account through Stripe. So if you see something like that, say something. Selected by Sophie says, I've got to bring this up. Canadian sellers flash selling buy me a coffee. It's actually against terms of service, and Whatnot does nothing about it. Oh, I know. Sophie, I am with you on that one. Yes. Buy me a coffee. I mean, I have to say this. There are community hosts who have that in their shop, and it's against terms of service, and nothing's getting done by it. And one person, if you're listening right now, hi, had pay for my wedding cake. Pay for part of my wedding cake. Like it's and just so the thing is if you see that, here's what I would say. That person is not somebody you want to buy from, because they're going against terms of service. I have less trust in that person than I did before I saw that they have a buy me a coffee or buy my dog a treat or anything like that. You can have, I will buy this tea bag. Like here's a pack of tea bags, right? Buy these tea bags, and that will buy me a tea as well. Tea for me, tea for you, kind of thing. That's okay. Hey, Blasian Bunny, how are you? Everyone follow Blasian Bunny as well. She's amazing. She's an awesome community host with great seller chats. It is frustrating. Yes, it's tea time. We're talking about buy me a coffee listings that are against terms of service, but Whatnot is currently not cracking down on this. But here's the thing, as Liz says many times, Liz, if you're still here, you're going to hear me say, Liz says, Whatnot, and I've seen it too. Whatnot will let things go, and then all of a sudden they will crack down like crazy. right? And I've seen this so many times where people keep pushing and pushing and pushing the limits, and then Whatnot's like, yeah, you know what? We've had it. We're getting too many support calls about this. We're getting too many issues with this, too many complaints, too many bad reviews. That's it. We're done. We're going to start cracking down on this. And they don't crack down like light and easy. They're like, yeah, you know what? You're against terms of service. You are now suspended for 3 days. And you could be a premier seller and you get suspended for 3 days. You've lost your wings because you have to have no community violations, right? So when you see that somebody is breaking the rules and getting away from it, that doesn't mean that you can do that, or that Whatnot will not start cracking down on that at any minute. So do not go against terms of service just because not everyone, but other people are doing it. Because as what was it? I mean, and it's probably a Gen X thing. They probably don't say this to kids and millennials, but if everybody was jumping off a cliff, would you jump off too? We're not lemmings, so don't follow. BioWord says that's kind of a fun idea though. Tea for me, tea for you. Yeah, coffee for me, coffee for you. That sort of thing. That is the same idea, but then they're getting something physical. And like, buy me a coffee and I'll send you some stickers. I get it. It's like this close to terms of service, but it should be stickers and buy me a coffee. Stickers, buy these stickers, and I'll buy a coffee. Something like that. Eleni's daughter says Whatnot needs to insist on authorization for charity shows a lot of fakers. They used to do that. And now they've gone away from that. I don't know if they will go back to that, because it used to be that you had to apply for your show and it needs to be clear, and I haven't read the terms of service about charity fundraising. It used to have to be clear about where the money was going to go. That had to be in the show notes, extremely clear, so that people knew. And in any listings that you had where it was just where if you were going to ask for tips or whatever. And then at the end, I did a couple of these where I had to send a report to Whatnot saying, here's how much I made, here's how much I'm donating, and here's a copy of the receipt showing that I donated it. Like, just, it could be like you did an e-transfer, or you did it online and you just grab a screenshot of it, but it used to be that way. So if you go into a charity show, and again, this is another thing where it's like, if you go into a show where they're fundraising for something and it seems sketch, then that would be a person to unfollow or block. You could ask questions. Don't just assume. They may not have put it in their show notes, but they should put it in their show notes. If you want to do a fundraiser for something, make it clear in your show notes exactly what percentage of the money is going, if it's just tips or if it's a percentage of your sales. And then you want to also make sure you add it to any listings that are related to that. A lot of people will just say all the tips that I received during this. Some people do raid trains for fundraisers. In the United States, there's a lot of basically people are trying to raise money to pay for their medical bills, which we don't have to do in Canada, and they do. So there's a lot more of that. So no charity stream that the money is going to go into your personal bank account. You have to say this, like, for example, I used to have listings where if you bought a pride flag, I can't do that this month because they're all in storage because of the basement flood. But it would be like, if you bought this pride flag, all of the proceeds are going to go to my local Trent Hills Pride. And so every once in a while I drop off money to Trent Hills Pride from those sales, which I'm not selling this month, but happy Pride anyways. Canadian Brick Cafe says, I live in BC, wide selection of cliffs in the area. Yes, like Wreck Beach has a very large cliff going down to it. I didn't know that it was what Wreck Beach was, what it was, until I got to the bottom. I was in a business suit. Those from BC will know. I was in a business suit. I just finished a meeting. Yes, Wreck Beach is a nudist beach. I finished a business meeting, and I was at the hospital. I was doing a presentation. at the hospital. I left and I was like, I have some time before I need to go to my next event. I want to go to the beach. And someone said, "Oh, there's just a beach around the corner." I don't know if they were like they just said it. They said there's a beach around the corner, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna go to the beach. And she didn't say the name of it. She just said there's a beach around the corner. And yeah, there was a presentation to me. It wasn't the other way around. I did not do a presentation. So it's like I can't remember how many steps, but I started going and it's like down this like humongous cliff and there are a lot of steps. I did end up taking off my high heels cuz at a certain point I could not do it anymore in high heels, and I got to the bottom and I looked around, and why is it that people on nudist beaches are not attractive? Like this guy walked past, and you know what? Everyone is beautiful in their own way, but it was like this guy, and I was like, okay, I think I'm on the wrong beach. I don't think this is where I want to go. And I stood there. I literally stood there. I was like, I don't know, how old was I? 30s, 30s, probably 30 something. And I stood there and I went, okay, so I literally went through the choices. I froze and went through the choices in my head. One, I wanted to put my feet in the water. So I was like, one, do I walk clothed all the way through all these naked people just so I could dip my toe in the water? Because I just went down all these freaking steps. Or two, do I take off my clothes first to be like polite? Because that's me. Like it would be impolite to walk through the naked people dressed. So I thought maybe I need to be undressed. But then I'm like, no freaking way am I going to take off these clothes. And then I'm going to get sand in it. And like, I literally, this all went through my head in like a few seconds. And then I was like, or C, do I just turn around and go back up to the top? And I chose C. I chose C. I went, forget it. I'm done. I went back up. Because I mean, I've been to Hanlon's Point. I don't have a problem with nudity. I just wasn't prepared for it. I need to be mentally prepared for a bunch of naked people on the beach, and I wasn't mentally prepared, so I just went back up the stairs. Good morning, Style Me, Style You. Sorry, everyone. The RCMP patrol the beach. Thank God. Peacock Joey says, my dad used to bring me to a nude beach on Salt Spring when I was a kid. Well, I mean, it's anatomy. It's just anatomy. Blasian Bunny says, maybe because attractive people are strippers and get paid for it. Never thought. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look, I've been around the block a couple of times. I had my single life. So, but, no, I just that day was an unattractive day. At least the people who were walking past me. It wasn't a big deal as a kid. It was, yeah. I mean, when you're a kid, you don't think it's just it's just people. But yeah. So if someone tells you, if you're in Vancouver and someone says, and you're near the hospital, and someone says there's a beach just around the corner, just know if it's down a really if it's down a cliff and you're gonna have quite the workout. I at the time was quite fit, and so climbing back up those steps, I did it quite quickly. It was a testament to my time on the stairmaster, this whatever you called it, the machine that I had at my gym. But yeah, so there you go. Okay, where were we? Well, let's talk about Whatnot again. Sorry, I got distracted. Side note, okay, back up we go. All right. Um, yeah, they're definitely getting around. I mean, they're not getting a payout. They're not selling anything. Like this he's not selling anything. So there's no way he can get a payout. So you can go live without, the one thing is you can go live and then get your then set up your payout later. I think they should do it the other way around. I think that would be the easiest way to get rid of these is just make it that you can't go live unless you've set up a bank account with Stripe. That would, and skip the PayPal. Sorry, it should be that they skip the PayPal because they're just probably setting themselves up with PayPal. Just have a seller support one, seller thank you note. People did that to get 1,000 sold items to get instant payouts. Yeah, I mean, people have done that where they've said like, help me get to 1,000 sales, and that's the listing, and that they get some stickers. 1,000 sales is great. It's great because you get semi-instant payout, right? Because you, as soon as you create the label, as soon as you generate the label, you get your payout. But if you are just selling consistently and focus on that instead of trying to like get people to like basically fundraise to help you get to 1,000 sales, if you actually do 1,000 sales the right way, you're going to build a bigger, stronger business than if you can say, oh, I sold 1,000 stickers to get to 1,000 sales. I'm not impressed by that. That don't impress me much, as Shania Twain would say. So I recommend you don't do that. Okay, scrolling back down again. We're still on the beach. And yes, Google Wreck Beach for more information. I am so glad I'm glad you kept your bathing suit on, Peacock. Elaine's daughter says, do you print and send the receipt? Ooh, great question. Okay, so this is, are you in? Let's do a poll. I haven't done a poll in a while. Dave, if you're still here, I haven't done a poll in a while. What's going on with me? Usually I do polls. So let's do a poll. Create a poll. Do you send packing? It's called a packing slip. It's kind of like a receipt, but it's called a packing slip because it doesn't have all the details. Yes, team packing slip. Oops, I can't spell right. Oh, well, you know what I'm writing. Or no, team, figure it out yourself. Start. Okay, so are you team packing slip? And if you're a buyer or a seller, which one do you prefer? Are you team packing slip or team figure it out yourself? Personally, I am team packing slip, and I'll tell you why. I do a lot of sales to resellers. I know that the item that they bought from me, they got a great deal. They're going to probably resell it. So I always put the packing slip in so that the person knows how much they paid for the item. Even if it's like, even when I'm doing random pulls, I just put it in. Yes, it does add up with labels, but here's the secret for that. Let me see if I can show you. So yes, it does take up, if you're using a thermal printer, it's going to use if you have a large order, it's going to use a lot of your thermal labels. So let's look at, I'm just going to grab a shipment from the past. Let me see if I can do this. All shipments, hang on. And then we're going to go to delivered because all my shipments should be delivered. So let's look at this one. All right, so if we hit print shipping label, yeah, no, this one's not enough. Anyways, if you hit print shipping label and you go to print, you can print to your thermal printer, send just the one page that is the label, the mailing label. You can then send to a regular printer on 8.5 by 11 paper. You can send it, but say number of, one of the options that in the drop down menu when you print something is number of pages per sheet, put 4. And that way 4 pages of the packing slip will go on one letter size paper. If you use both, if you have a printer that prints on both sides, you'll have 8 pages of the packing slip onto one piece of paper. Saves you a lot of money. So that's why a lot of people skip it, but that's a way around it, is to send the packing slip to your paper printer if you have a paper printer that's not as expensive. I just find it really helps. Let me catch up here. So it looks like we're pretty close. It's almost 50-50. Most people are team packing slip, but not by much. Oh, thank you, Peacock. I lost a nail this morning and I didn't get a chance to put it back on. It's going to be another rainbow one. Eventually I'll be all rainbow for the month. Okay, Eleni's daughter asks a really great question. Hang on, let me scroll back to it. I never, don't know, where is it? Back up. Okay. Can you explain weekly shipping for Canadians? Only planning on having weekly shows. Is there any point? Great question. So, weekly bundling is a thing that's only available for Canadian sellers and Australia, and I think they're testing it out in the UK and Germany. Now, weekly bundling means, and it's something that you as a seller opt into, and your buyer opts into it as well. So if your buyer doesn't want weekly bundling, then you've got to ship out right away, anyways. But weekly bundling means that anything that they buy from you in your show or in your marketplace, so if you've got listings in your marketplace, they can buy from you in your show and then buy that week in your marketplace, and it'll all go in one box. So even if you just do one show per week, still offer weekly bundling, because one, you might do a pop-up. Two, you might be invited to go on a raid train on another day. Three, it looks better that you offer weekly bundling. And four, if you've got listings in your shop, then people can add to that box throughout the week, and you can say to people, I do shows weekly, but you know what, if you pick weekly bundling, then you can shop my store on Whatnot all week long, 24/7, and you'll be able to add things to your box. So after this show, make sure that you go to my profile and shop my store, because I've got all kinds of awesome items that you can add to your box. So I suggest that even if you do weekly shows, you turn on weekly bundling, but totally up to you. Just remember that just because you have weekly bundling doesn't mean that you only ship once a week. It means that that you offer that option for people to save money on shipping. And I prefer it. I love it, actually. I would say now 95% of my sales are weekly bundles. It's very rare that I don't have a weekly bundle. This week I had 2 orders I had to ship out. Eleni's daughter says, I never get packing slips from Whatnot sellers, but wonder if it's good for US customers. Yes. And as Canadian Brick Cafe says, Canadian Brick Cafe always ships out to cross border shipments. You need to have a packing slip in if you're shipping across the border, in any direction. If it's leaving Canada, you need to put a packing slip in no matter what. So don't skip the packing slip. Warren Martin says, packing slip outside and inside. Oh, I don't do outside. I've seen people who put them on the outside. I've had some from the States where they put it on the outside. To be honest, I just think it's a privacy issue. So I don't do that, because, what if it's a present? What if that person doesn't want their someone that lives with them to know what they're buying? So I make sure it's inside. Peacock has a question about yearly bundling. Could you imagine? No year. I don't think I could do more than weekly. That's enough space that I have to keep available. Um, do, 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 do. Vintage Buy by Kelly Irish says, I do as well, and write down random pull items that don't show the item as well, but often give myself too much work. Yeah. So I don't write unless it's a small order, and if it's going across the border, I will write beside. If it's a random pull and it's going across the border, I will write what it is beside it, so that it's more helpful for UPS. But otherwise I don't write it, unless it's a short order, and I might write it on it, but I don't always do that. Okay. Canadian Brick Cafe joked about how putting the label on the box, on the outside of the box, if you had if it was allowed and you did a sex toy show and you put the packing slip on the outside. Yeah. A personal use toy show and put the packing slip on the outside. What was that? That is personal use. All your Warren Martin, all your customers is US. Yeah. So putting it on the outside is more important for you. My stuff got stopped at the border, so I always put the second slip on the outside. That's good to know. So Warren Martin sells into the US, and was having problems with shipments getting through. For some reason, they have a problem with collectible stamps and other items like that. So putting the packing slip on the outside for that reason is a good idea. So that is a very good tip. Thank you so much, War Martin. What about if you send a message to buyer for bundling and no response? Do you still ship next day? Derosis. So if they didn't select shipping of weekly bundling, you don't have to. There's no way for you after a show to bundle those items in. You just have to ship it. And if your customer's like, but I wanted weekly bundling, you should have done that. They have to do that during the show. So if they buy something in the show and they don't have weekly bundling turned on, the next item that they buy in that show, if they turn on weekly bundling, the first item will also go into the weekly bundle. But if they just buy one item from you and haven't turned on weekly bundling, you can't rebundle for them. So it has to be, if you don't see bundling, just ship it out. Don't take the time to do that, because there's no way for you to bundle it back in um, after the show is over. Canadian Cafe says a guy got charged $35 US in duties on a $15 Lego figure. Yes, and minifig, and yes, and he's just slapped another tariff on of 10%, and it just boggles my mind. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It's just, we can't do anything about the tariffs and duties, right? The customs brokerage fee is the part that hits the hardest. You says, if you only do a few shows a week, should I have weekly bundling? If you're a Canadian seller, and you're doing a few shows a week and you are willing to wait, because some people don't want to wait because you have to wait to ship out until Sunday night or Monday morning, right? If you know, because again, if you have stuff in your listed in your store, then they're going to have an opportunity to shop from you all the way till Sunday at midnight. So I always leave things open, the box open, and I, even if I don't, like, this week I'm doing a couple of shows on the weekend. Normally I don't. So I could say, okay, Friday was my last selling show. I'm now going to ship out all my weekly bundles. But I have stuff in my buy it now, in my store. I want people to still have the opportunity to add to their box that way. So I leave it open and I ship Monday. I start doing my shipping Monday. One of the things that I do to make life easier with weekly bundling, because one of the things that overwhelms people is just like, if you do your shipping after each show, it's done, and it's, maybe it's 50 items or 100 items. But if you have to do like all week all at once, so don't do that. Don't do what I've done in the past, which is dumb, which is just hold all the stuff and then start wrapping and shipping all at once. It's too overwhelming. I had like one week where I had over 600 items that for some reason, my brain went, oh no, I'll be fine, I'm just going to leave it till Monday. And I left it till Monday, and then it was like 2 days of nonstop wrapping. Oh, so at the end of each one of your shows, take the time to wrap the stuff up and prep it. You don't put it in a box yet. You're not wrapping it up to ship. You're wrapping it to get ready to be put in. So that is my recommendation, is if you do weekly bundling, and I think you should, because it saves your customers money on shipping, and they're going to come back to you to buy more because they saved money, and they know that they're going to save money when they buy from you. Peacock says, they sent my trading cards to the US valued $10 and $15, and there were no fees. Hope they don't get a UPS bill later. Yeah, I mean, UPS, it'll show in the tracking. If you go to your Whatnot orders and you find that order that's going to the US, you can actually you can click on the tracking, and it will show if there's anything due once it gets over the border and has gone through customs. You can actually look at the UPS website for tracking for that item that your customer has, and you can see the fees that they might have to pay. But yeah, trading cards, playing cards as they're being listed, don't seem to be having any issue getting through right now. Fingers crossed that stays the same. Tiny pieces of cardboard. Selected by Sophie says, I just want to say I'm thoroughly enjoying this live with my morning coffee sitting in the sun. Oh, you're welcome. It's not sunny enough out here. One of these days I'll be in the backyard and do it out there when it's a little bit nicer. Camper Cafe says, I would personally rather ship out ASAP to free up space. Yeah, and it's totally up to you. I I like the idea that people can fill a box through the entire week and save money, and I don't have to restart my show constantly in order to do that. It's a game changer for us, for a lot of us who sell like vintage decor and that costs money, way too much money in shipping otherwise. Mia Vita says buyer purchased on a Monday show, had weekly bundling on, so I sent the following week, and then I got a bad review that it took too long to get their item. Are you kidding me? Oh, Mia Vita, that's so bad. Oh, that's too bad. Maybe they didn't understand what they were doing. So again, that would be where responding in a professional way, even if you have to ask a robot program like a GPT type program to help you write a professional response to that, would be, I'm so sorry that you feel that way. But you had weekly bundling on, and so I just followed the rules or something like that, right? Um, DeRosa says, so true. Sometimes you need extra shipping material, the right size box, etc. Yes. Anyone else have U.S. buyers refuse to pay duties? What happens? Eleni's daughter, yes. So if a buyer refuses to pay for the item, refuses to pay for the duties for the item, according to Whatnot's terms of service, I'm going to end this. I should end this poll. According to Whatnot's terms of service, they are not allowed to get a refund from that. It is not. They can't get a refund. Team Packing Slip is the winner. So, but the item could get returned. Hi, EastEnder Resales. The item could get returned to you. So it's important that when you see that the item was refused, that you go to UPS and say, this is the order number. This is my name. This is my address. I do not want this returned to me, because you will get customs fees. You will get a bill from UPS for the customs fees on the way back. So you just want it to be abandoned. You will get your payout from Whatnot. If they refuse, you're going to get paid for that item. That item is just going to end up in limbo and go into, a big pile of like what do they call it? Refused mail and lost mail, and it'll go into that. And, maybe it'll be in a big auction some point, and someone else will open up the box and sell it on Whatnot. Who knows? But you've already been paid out for the item. You should get paid out for it. So if you aren't if you see that, if you watch the tracking and you can see that the buyer refused to pay the duties, refused it, then you message Whatnot support and say, hey, I just see on the tracking for this shipment number. Don't give them the tracking number, give them the Whatnot shipment number, and say, make sure you ask the robot to create a ticket at the end of this. So you want to say, here's the shipment number. The buyer has refused to pay the customs fees, the tariffs. Can you please make sure that I get paid out for this, and make sure that this item doesn't get returned to me? But message Whatnot support and make sure you give them username and the shipment number so that they can look it up quickly. And then when the robot says, blah, 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 here's these articles that you can read, you can say, thank you, please create a ticket. And then it'll create a ticket and it will go to a real human. So, yes, buyer responsible for all import fees and taxes. On Whatnot, the reason why Whatnot uses UPS is because then they have it set up with the duties and taxes are paid by the buyer, not paid on our end. So if you, for example, if you were to use Canada Post with another app to ship out to the United States, you would have to pay the taxes, duties, and tariffs before you could even get a Canada Post label. Whatnot's not set up for that. Whatnot's not going to do that. So they've used UPS because UPS does have the option where the buyer pays the duties and taxes. It's important to let your buyers know that there's that possibility. So one of the things that I have is I think it's still in my show notes. Yeah, in my show notes, I have a US buyers little note there. And then if I'm doing a live show, I don't think it's in here. US buyers. No, it's not in here. I didn't import it because I'm not selling, so I don't usually put it in. But when I'm selling, I have this. Please hold. I have this. This is in my shows when I'm selling. Not that I don't want US buyers, but I want them to know and it be clear to them. And then on top of that, I um I will, if I see that it's a US buyer, I will message them before I start wrapping stuff up. Before I've even started wrapping stuff up, I message them right afterwards and say, and I have a little blurb, and you can find it on the Discord. If I can, I'll link the Discord. Let me find the Discord. So on our Discord, I have the blurb. I put the blurb that I use in the Discord so that if you needed it, you could have it. Oh, and there's no Discord in here. So we have an unofficial Whatnot Canada Discord. Discord. There we go. There we go. Done. Import. Pin. We have an unofficial Whatnot Canada Discord. So the blurb that I use to send to my US buyers, you can just copy and paste and edit it to what you like. I just send that and say, and it basically says, "Thank you for your purchase. I appreciate your business. I just want to let you know, just in case you weren't aware, that UPS, et cetera, and I have all the details. You know, I have a little blurb about how it could cost them more money. It might not. I sent like a bunch of hen on nests that were made in the United States through. They were CUSMA compliant, so there was zero cost to my customer. They didn't get something, but otherwise, I send them the little message and then I give them 24 hours to respond. Sometimes 48, depends on like how anxious I am about getting stuff out. 24 hours. I wait 24 hours. I'm not too worried about my shipment rate. I would rather have a happy customer at the end. And then in my blurb, I say, if you want to cancel, I will accept it. I'm okay with that because I understand. Because some people buy without realizing, even though the news is full of it. You also have to remember that in the United States of America and in Canada too, news is filtered. News information is filtered to the public depending on which stations they watch. So if they're a Fox News, Newsmax type watcher, they're not getting the information about how much it's really going to cost them. They're still hearing that, you know, China's going to pay these tariffs and Canada's going to pay these tariffs. No, they pay these tariffs, but they're not getting that information. So give people some grace and give them that information. Really important. Have a great day, Canadian Brick Cafe. Hope there's some cool things that you find today while you're working. I haven't seen any coverage about the bricks and minifigure scandal yet. I'll go look into that. I didn't know there was a scandal about bricks and minifigures, but that sounds interesting. I like scandals. Maybe it'll become a Netflix documentary. It's a rabbit hole. Oh dear. Okay, I'll be careful. Thank you. Elaine's daughter says, I will sell vintage jewelry my first show, and almost all of it's made in the USA. Should I have that in the description? You can have that in the description, yes. And you can also, that doesn't necessarily absolute guarantee that it's not going to get tariffed. Also, when you ship to the United States, if you get a US buyer or an international buyer, the system, Whatnot system, will ask you to go to seller.whatnot.com and enter the country of origin. You won't be able to generate a label until you enter the country of origin. Hello, Great Canadian Jewelry. How are you? How are you? Good to see you. Let me just check and see if I've missed any questions. Sorry. So the Discord is down below. Everyone's welcome from around the world to come to our unofficial Whatnot Canada Discord. We created it so we could share information, raid trains, all of that. If you are, let me just check. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody's questions here. I always hate it when I miss questions. If I've missed a question, let me know. Because I do not want to miss anything. Also, another Whatnot announcement is if you sell, so if you're a jewelry seller who sells higher end jewelry, Whatnot just came out with an announcement about that. Let me just see if I can pull it up here. Okay, so there's reduced commission. I'm just going to read it. Reduced commission on high value orders promotion. Whatnot is excited to announce a new reduced commission structure on high value items in the bags and accessories and jewelry and watches categories, reducing what you pay on your highest value sales. So starting at midnight on June 4th, so it's already started, sellers will no longer be charged seller commission on the portion of the sale price over $1,500 for individual orders in these categories. So if you sell a piece of jewelry and it's $1,700, you will only pay commission on the first $1,500, and the $200 is zero commission. Plus, of course, there's the 2.9% payment processing fee and the 30 cents payment processing fee. But this means that if you are thinking, I don't want to sell stuff on Whatnot because I'm paying a higher commission and it's really high quality, if you're selling those high quality jewelry or bags and accessories, you can now get reduced commission, which is very exciting. Yeah, so where was that announcement? They emailed it. So if you're using Gmail, I found that even though I keep saying that Whatnot is like, I keep starring every time I see a Whatnot thing, I star it to I'm telling the algorithm that I like this and I want more of this. It keeps putting it into my other mail and not my mailbox that I see, because it thinks it's a promotion. So I just every day, a few times a day, I go up and I type in Whatnot and search for anything that's Whatnot. And I have to admit, I didn't do it for a couple of days, and so I just saw that this morning that there's a discount. So worth doing. I think they're trying to attract more higher end fashion sellers and jewelry and watches sellers. So if you have a really great jewelry piece, so if you didn't get that announcement, I put it in the Discord. I usually, if I see an announcement like this, I will put it in the Discord. So if you do join our Discord, you won't miss out on these kind of announcements, because even if they didn't email it to you, I'm going to put it, if I hear about it, I'm going to put it in. So if you go to the Discord, hang on, it's loading. If you go to the Discord too, you can share your shows, and sharing your shows helps boost you in the algorithm. So share your shows. And then I have a section, a text section. It's called, where is it? Whatnot news and updates. So I will put all the Whatnot news and updates in here so that you won't miss out on anything. So there you go. Could it be a couple of pieces that add to this price? So DeRosa's, if you did say you did one item, so say it's like, oh, I don't have, let's pretend this is a high-end piece of jewelry and this is a high-end piece of jewelry, and together you're going to sell them together in one as one item. So let's do that. Let's pretend I'm going to sell this. Okay, hang on. Go down. We're going to create a temporary listing for my very, very, very high-end piece of jewelry here. So I'm going to make sure that my category is jewelry. And I'm going to say fine and precious metals, of course. And it's my, we're going to call this because I'm just typing. And we're going to start the auction at $1,600. Done. Quantity 1. Shipping profile. That. Select. Okay, so add. Pin. So there's my fancy. If you were to bundle them together, then technically that's one item. So yes, it has to be per item. For Whatnot, an item is a listing. So that's one item. So if you said this was a bundle of these great pieces and it's $1,600 for both pieces, they're selling together for $1,600. Running, if you really want to pay $1,600 for this, I will also, I don't know, send you the shirt off my back at the same time. So you would just run it. You could run it together together. It has to be together. It can't be that the person bought this for $800 and this for $800, because obviously they were sleep swiping. And that they bought two things, and that's $1,600. So DeRose, buy all your someone might, Peacock, you never know. So Laney Star said, what's the commission again for higher end? So it is for Bags and accessories, jewelry and watches, those three categories. You have to select those three categories for your item. One of those three categories. They must, and do not put something that's not actually in those categories as those categories just to try and get this promotion. Don't do that. That's against term of service. You'll lose your ability to sell. Don't do that. So so if it's in one of those three categories, then and it sells for over $1,500, then any amount over $1,500 will be 0% commission. You'll only pay the 2.9% payment processing fee on that amount over. So say it sells for $1,700, then you're going to get 0% commission for that $200 that's over $1,500. So they're only charging you 8% commission on anything from $1 to $1,500. Oh, don't have to send me a gift. No need for a gift. No need for a gift. I'm okay, but thank you so much. Elise, they did call it a promotion, so it may end, but there is no end date. Whatnot tends to not put end dates on their promotions like this because they don't know how long they want to keep it going. Sometimes they will put it on for a short period of time, and other times they will do it for a longer period of time. Some promotions will last for months, and some promotions will only last for a month. So take advantage of it now. It started on June 4th. It's probably going to go for a couple of months at least, but no guarantees there because I don't know. I can't read their minds. If you could always message support and ask them for how long it's going to go on for. So that is important. Selected by Sophie says something new I just noticed is I now have a $500 bonus. Is that a $500 bonus for you or for the person? So let me just see. Referrals. That is a good point. Oh my God, it is. Holy poop. Okay, who wants to sell? Holy cow. Wowzers. Okay, so invite a seller if you go to your referrals. So if you go to your profile, if you go to your homepage and then you go to your profile, okay? So yeah, it used to be $100. And then right here you have referrals and referrals and credits. So the first one is if you and you should be using this all the time on your social media, telling your friends and family, putting as a little QR code that people can scan on your business card, so that you can start getting more people to become Whatnot buyers. And each referred buyer will get oh, we don't get anything for that now? It says make referrals. Each referred, oh, you get $5. So each referred buyer gets $15 in credit to shop your shows or anybody's shows, and you get $5. So you will get $5 every time somebody new joins Whatnot and makes a purchase. But now, if you want, you can invite a seller to join Whatnot, and you will earn $500. So you receive $500 after your referral reaches $100 in total sales and sells to 5 different buyers. So the reason for that is because there's been scams where people are joining Whatnot, referring a fake account of themselves, and then selling to themselves just to get that $100, right? They're just creating fake accounts just to get that $100 credit. Every time there's something that's going on, there's well, they can't sell for a cent, they can sell for $1. Every time you see, and you can't buy from them or be in their show. Oh, interesting. Let's see, view terms and conditions. Thank you. All right, let's read the terms and conditions. How buyers referrals work. Okay, we'll skip that one. Claim your buyer referral, check the status, frequently asked questions. Buyer's referral. No, I want seller referral. Where's the seller referral? All right, we're going to go to help.whatnot.com. We're going to help.whatnot.com. We're going to go and put in seller referral. Seller referral program. Okay. Seller, what about if some new buyer did not do the referral? No, you can't do it later. When they have to join the app using your link in order for you to get credit for them joining the app. It's not retroactive. Okay, so seller referral. Once your seller, okay, what your referral will also qualify for the new seller bonus during their first week. Once your referral completes the selling requirements and all the orders from qualifying shows are delivered, your bonus is added to your Whatnot account balance. You can start a payout to move the funds to your bank. It's now you can move those funds to your bank. You have to just use them as credit. Holy poop. This was just updated June 4th. Bonus amounts vary by location. So currently in Canada, it's $500 freaking dollars. Okay, how to qualify. You must be an approved live seller who has cashed out earnings and is in good standing with no active trust and safety violations. 2, you can only refer sellers in your country. 3, you must refer someone who hasn't applied to sell on Whatnot before. So they have to be new to Whatnot as a seller. So you share your referral link. So your referral, okay, so step 1 is you share your referral link and they use it. Step 2 is your referral meets the selling requirements. They have to use your referral link to apply to sell on Whatnot. They have to go live. They have to reach that sales threshold, which is $100 in Canada right now, and they have to sell to a minimum of 5 buyers. And giveaway free pickup orders do not qualify, and that's because people were doing that, and so they weren't even paying for shipping to get orders from private shows do not count. They have to be public shows. You also cannot be one of the 5 buyers if you're the person who referred the new seller. So if you can still buy from them, but you won't count towards their 5 buyers. So you can buy from them. That's very important. You can still buy from them to support them and welcome them, and because you like their stuff, but that won't count towards their 5 buyers to get you the bonus. In order to get the bonus afterwards, once the selling requirements are met and the orders from the qualifying live streams have been delivered to the buyer, that's important. So you may say, "Oh, they did it in their last show and I still haven't gotten my bonus yet." Well, you won't get your bonus until all that stuff gets delivered and everything's okay with those orders. Just again in case they're trying to screw the system. And your bonus will then be added to your Whatnot account balance. The transaction will appear in your ledger as seller referral reward. And you can actually start a payout to send that bonus to your bank account. I kind of liked it when I could use the credit to buy stuff. But okay, I'll take the money and buy stuff on Whatnot. So if you are not using that referral code, you should be going around to anybody and putting it on your Instagram, your socials, everything. You could imagine if you get 5 people to sign up and become sellers on Whatnot, that's $2,500 in your bank account. And what did you do? Like very little, right? I mean, I will offer to anyone who uses my seller referral code, hey YouTube, if you're watching right now and you want to become a seller on Whatnot, and you're watching my show and thinking, I'd like to be a seller on Whatnot, this sounds like fun, then use my seller referral code. And for that $500 that I'm going to get when you're successful, I'm going to give you 5 hours of one-on-one, up to 5 hours. If you only want an hour and you're sick of me, that's fine. But you're going to get up to 5 hours of one-on-one coaching from me, because that's $100 an hour. So I'm okay with that. I'm willing to make $100 an hour. So I will help you. I will do one-on-one coaching with you if that's what you want. If you want to use my referral code, just saying. So 5 hours of bingo. Yes, Mimics. That would be awesome. 5 hours of bingo. So Peacock says, I use Vintiquity's link eons ago, back in 1822. I saw it on a local Facebook community group. Brilliant. So if you're on and one of the things you can do too is don't be spammy on these groups. You want to be genuine. So you don't want to say, hey, he used my link and become a seller on Whatnot. That's just going to get ignored because it seems like an ad. So one of the things that I do every once in a while, and now I got to start using my seller referral link in there, is that if people ask questions about reselling on different different groups, I will answer and say, "Oh, you should sell on Whatnot. I sell on Whatnot, and it's great. Blah 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 blah. If you want more information, DM me, and I'll send you a link so you can apply to be a seller." Well, now I'm gonna do. I sell on Whatnot. It's fabulous. I'll answer the person's question. I'll say, if you would like to also sell on Whatnot, here's my referral link, and I will give you 5 free hours of coaching, one-on-one coaching. So, oh my God. I'm glad, Sophie, I'm glad you pointed that out. That's exciting. So that's super new because they just updated um the help article on June 4th. That's one of the things too, is when you're in seller in help.whatnot.com and you can actually read right there. It'll tell you right under the title of the article, it'll tell you when they updated it to the minute. The 3:58 p.m. is when they updated this. So you can tell exactly when something was updated to know, because I often will go in and look at, have the community guidelines been updated, and I'll be able to tell because it'll tell me the date that they updated the article last. So there you go. If you're not using a referral code, you need to. $500, people. $500. And all they have to do is sell to 5 different people and sell $100. And if you're there helping them, they will get there. They will definitely get there. You can help them get there, and you can make. Yeah, Magnus Mamrikas got the little emojis of the dollar sign emoji guy. I don't know what's called, where he sticks out his tongue and he's got money. All right, so this is the point. It's noon now, so yeah, it was $100 at one point, then it became $200, then it was $250, and now it's $500 hairs. Again, if you just get 5 people, that's $2,500 that you can put in your bank account. It's not even credit. You can put it in your bank account. Woo! That's, you could just do that full time, as long as you've already been a seller. They need to have five new sales within 14 days of getting approved to sell, I believe. It doesn't say that in the, interestingly, let's see, how to qualify. Check the amount. Share, okay. Your referral, you can only, someone who has applied. Check the amount near your referral to see how much seller credit you can earn. And how to qualify, steps to earn your bonus. Referral meets. Yeah, so it doesn't have a timeline on here. It just says they use your referral link, they complete the selling milestones for their location, which may include going live, la 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 la. So let's see if there's a link for their location. Or let's look at hang on. Go back to, where are we? We are in Whatnot. Okay, how did I get there? All right. And that they will earn a bonus of up to $150 during their first week. So they'll earn that bonus during their first week, but in order for you to earn the bonus, it doesn't have a timeline. It just says they need to sell $100 and to 5 different buyers. It does not say on help.whatnot.com nor here that there's a timeline. So Luna applied, and those were the terms. Yeah, so they've just updated this again. They've just updated this again and changed this referral. So that it just, as soon as you think you know what's going on and Whatnot, they change it because they keep improving. So this isn't, I consider $500 an improvement. I'm all for this. I'm like, this is, yeah. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions? It is past noon. Improving is very good. Especially when it's $500 worth of improvement. That's very good. Take advantage of it now, because it will go down again. Probably. It will probably go down again, because I've seen it. It was at like 50 and then went to 100, then went back to 50, and then it went to 250, and then it went down to 100, and now it's up to $500. So in our region, so Canada, this is a Canadian thing. So Americans, I don't know what you got. I'm sorry. You may have less, but yay, go Canada. Elbows up and all that stuff. All right, so it's now 12:07. Let's share where we're from and what we sell so everybody can follow everybody else and build our community. Angie says, I might shoot for June 12th. Yes, June 12th is 2%, 2% commission. So you're only going to pay 2% commission. So just because I missed it, I would have to ask. Yeah, you'd have to create a new account. Yeah. Angie Pants is in BC and will be doing clothing and shoes, and hopefully on June 12th, which is your 2% commission day. All right, my name's Kim. I'm the Red Rooster, and I am from close to a small little village called Hastings, Ontario, which is about 2 hours northeast than north of Toronto. And I sell a little bit of everything. I'm an auctioneer by training, so I sell a little bit of everything. Mostly, I love Canadian pottery, so I sell a lot of Canadian pottery. Well, I have a lot of Canadian pottery. I don't always sell it. Thank you, Pre-Love Revival. Elaine's daughter says, I'm in Kingston. Hello, waving to you. You're not that far away. First show, vintage jewelry, and then high-end decor and entertainment wear. Ooh, when are you going to be doing that? Mimics is in Toronto and it's awesome. Mimics also does community chat shows every once in a while, so make sure that you bookmark his community chat shows, because he does pop-up ones and then scheduled ones, and they're amazing. Plus, he also sells some great stuff. If you like jewelry, you'll like Mimics, especially if you make jewelry. Special things, tiny pretty things. Kelly Makes Pottery is in Maple Ridge, BC. Oh, so pretty. Mostly vintage jewelry and decor and handmade stuff. Oh, I love it. Mia Vita is in Richmond Hill, Ontario. Hello. Dave from Alberta is from a top secret location. Shows coming once summer hits, he promises. He pinky promises. Here you go. Dave, grab hold. Pinky promise. Albita is in Vancouver Island, BC. Not selling yet, but will be, and I'm excited for you. Magnus by Marika is in Tottenham, Ontario. I'm selling fashion jewelry, still making custom stickers to those who ask for it. Your fashion jewelry is so fun. I love the fashion jewelry you're coming out with. Yeah, Dave has a secret cooking lab. High Q Gems is from Toronto, Mississauga. We have a show tonight with high quality gems from Madagascar. Ooh. Oh, why did I do that so high? I don't know, but I'm excited. DeRostis has vintage jewelry and decor live tonight and tomorrow at 1313. So that's 113. And on June 12th, a free reading for the full moon and new moon from Montreal. Ooh. Because you also do readings in the community chat, so I love that. Vintage by Kelly Irish is from northern BC. Vintage decor and jewelry, vintage and modern. Picky Picks is in, and I love your little logo, Picky. It's so pretty. I'm in Calgary and sell a bit of everything, including comics. Oh, you're getting into comics. That's exciting. I just cleared all mine out. I was like, that's it. They're going. I love that. Kelly Makes Party says, I know where to send those who ask. I love that. See, this is exactly why we do this. Elaine's daughter says, I used to collect romance comics. There's such a thing as romance comics? That sounds cool. I would like that. Mia Vita sells plus size clothing, doing a first jewelry show this Monday. Oh, that's exciting. So many people doing jewelry shows. I love it. Let's see. Brass kettle, vintage decor, and some jewelry on the way soon. I love it. Deals on Style, I Spy Luxury, I Spy Collectibles is in Chatham, Ontario. We are a virtual department store with 3 brands and thousands of unique vintage, antique, modern, and more. I love that. That's a really great tagline there. Okay. Yeah, so okay, anybody else who wants to share their shows or ask any questions, feel free to. I did have somebody written down that I was going to raid into. This birthday they had 178 sales when I checked out their profile. They're called The Set House. They I haven't seen them in any of my shows yet, but they posted on Facebook and advertised on the Facebook group. There's a Facebook group for Whatnot Canada, and they posted that they were going to do a show, and it was a really lovely like community invitation that they put out for people to join them, and I thought it was really well done marketing to encourage people to come and join them. So if they're still live, that's where we're going to go. I'm going to tag them. Just hopefully they won't come into the show, but I'm going to tag them. And if you go to the Set House, there they are. Look at that. They were the first ones to come up. It's because I looked at them recently. So the Set House is where we're going to raid if they're still alive right now. Dave from Alberta says, "Oh yeah, I sell some random jewelry, silver, new and vintage electronics, and he does gold refining shows for fun. They are a lot of fun to watch. You need to watch Dave from Alberta's gold refining shows and shop from him as well. So bookmark his shows. And by the way, I should be saying this more often. Please bookmark my upcoming shows. I do chats. They're not live. Oh, sad face. Well, hopefully they had a good show. They started at 10, so they did a couple of hours, so good for them. Do I have to pay shipping for every item because it's $21 shipping? Hi there, Jackie. No. What happens on Whatnot is they do something called smart bundling. For the first item that you buy from me or anyone else in a show, that is going to be your $21 because you're in BC and I'm in Ontario. Your second item is going to be less. So your second item could be, depending on the weight, it could be 0 for the next item for your shipping, or it could be 21 cents or 41 cents or $1.25. It depends on what the weight is. So every time you add something to your virtual box in somebody's show, it will add a little bit more. It might charge you a little bit more for shipping, but it'll actually show you that. So if you live in a place where it's $21 for the first shipping, let me see if I can pin something that's less weighty. This is probably less weighty, so because I put that as like 1 to 2 pounds. So if you if you if you buy something lightweight to add to your box, it's probably not going to cost anything. The best thing about if you live somewhere far away where shipping is expensive, or you live in the States and you're buying from Canada, buy in bulk. The more you buy, you're in Quebec. Okay, so that's really weird that it's $21. You must be in a more what the system thinks of as more remote. So you probably don't think you're remote, but the system does. Mimic says it's $10.12 shipping for him. He's in Toronto. It's usually a little bit less, but that was 1 to 2 pounds. $15.99 to New Brunswick. So your first item is the most expensive shipping. And if you live in Canada, you can also turn on um, weekly bundling. You go to the wallet, and if you turn on weekly bundling, then anything you buy from me between Monday and Sunday will go into one box. So if you come into like 3 or 4 of my shows, or Shauna Treasures and Art is doing a show, and you go into like 3 of her shows in a week, and you buy items in each one of those shows, it's all going to bundle into one box. So you're not paying every show for a brand new box, which can be frustrating. I remember when like I would do like 3 shows, and then I'd have people who had 3 boxes and I couldn't put them together. So and let's see. I Pre-Love Revival says, I've found that in my shows, when shipping to Quebec, it is much more expensive for some reason. I don't know why is that. I don't understand why Canada Post is charging more. I don't understand. Is anybody in the Montreal area and can tell me how much it says for shipping right now? Um, it's the tax. Oh, double tax. That could be it. Although, Alexa? What's the PST in Quebec?
Quebec doesn't use PST. They have their own direct sales tax, or QST, instead of the standard provincial sales tax.
Okay, so Alexa, what's the QST percentage? Why can't she answer me?
The Quebec sales tax rate is 9.975%.
Okay, 9.975%. That's definitely more. 9.975.
That's right. 9.9.
Okay, Alexa, you can stop talking. Alexa, stop talking. So that would do it. Is a little bit more tax, but it's only like a couple of percent more, so that shouldn't be the total reason. But yeah, I wonder if there's more remote areas, so maybe Canada Post doesn't have a great system. I don't know the answer because I don't work for Canada Post. But Shawna Treasures and Art says, definitely a bonus to have weekly bundling both for buyers and sellers. It is a total bonus. It's a game changer, I think. I think it's a game changer. I'm glad they brought it to Canada first before they brought it to the States. Quebec is as Mimic says, Quebec is the largest province, so that would probably have to do with it because of the distance. But yeah, more remote areas in Quebec, rural areas. It's so pretty there. It's so pretty. I love Quebec. Okay, so last call for any questions, and then I'm gonna see. While you guys are asking questions, it's okay. I'm gonna look for. Ooh, did I freeze? I'm gonna look for someone to write. We should all write strongly worded letters to Canada Post to have them come on and talk with Kim. Yes, I have things I want to say. No, just kidding. Let's see. You ask your questions. If you have more questions, let me know. Let's see who is on right now that we can raid that we haven't been to in a while. I love the fact that it's offering me. Ooh, Great Britain. No, let's stay in Canada. You know, we haven't been to a slightly larger one lately. I'm just trying to see. Unless somebody's suggesting someone. Hang on. Is anyone suggesting someone? Stamp Pickers. Is Stamp Pickers on? Hi, Beck. How are you? Oh yeah, Stamp Pickers, because he could probably answer the questions. I don't know. Does he know that what it is? Stavny Saw You says hi. I don't know if I'm going to say this right. Jaya from Calgary, Alberta. I sell women's clothing and custom made women's ties. Ooh, going live June 12th. Perfect day to do it because June 12th is 2% commission day. Still need to post your show. Awesome. Well, next time you come into one of my shows, say hi. He is on. Oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah, let's go there because we were just talking about him. So we'll go there. So thank you everybody so much for hanging out with me for a bit. We're going to raid into Stamp Pickers because we were talking about Canada Post. But no, we're raiding into Stamp Pickers because I wanted you to see what a high volume seller looks like, and it doesn't look like what you probably think a high volume seller looks like. Stamp Pickers has, I don't know if he still has his wings, but he's one of Canada's premier sellers, and he's doing estate lots, stamps, coins, and cards. This is someone who sells really well, but has such a very cool, calm, chill vibe. You do not need to scream and yell in order to sell on Whatnot. So we're going to raid into him. Let's put a whole bunch of Canadian flags in the chat. I love you guys so much. And yeah, and he's super knowledgeable. What time? I'm going to be on tonight. I'm going to be on selling DVDs. Thanks for asking, DeRoses. I'm going to be on tonight selling DVDs, sealed DVDs, starting at $2 each. And then I love you too, Sell Me, Sell You. And then Sunday, I am doing Wade Whimsies, starting at only $4 each. I'm on a raid train. It's an American raid train. I'm a little nervous about it being an American raid train and having like no sales because the Americans don't want to pay the extra money, even though they're saving 30%. They don't want to pay for the tariffs because I don't know what the tariffs are going to be because the stuff's made in England. So I'm a little nervous about that, but it's okay. I will get through it. It's only 45 minutes. So that will be Sunday afternoon. If you want to pop in and just show me some love and help me out. You don't have to buy anything, but let's go check out Stamp Pickers and give him some love. I love you guys so much. Have a great day, and I will see you when I see you. And if you have questions, you can always message me in between shows. Bye for now. Let's go say